The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation. Foundation. Foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. Here on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, Small Business Thursday. Grateful to be in your company. Grateful to chop this thing down with you. And always being able to be excited to talk about these things. Got a shout out to my good, decent sponsors. Alive, Monover Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, ESC Distributors Limited, Grand Bahama News, Popeyes, Print Masters, and Ron's Electric Motors. I want to thank all you guys for being able to sponsor the show and, yes, allow me an opportunity to be able to talk like this. I am grateful to you. Got a shout out to my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. Make sure you go down there and check them out if you're in the market for your own personal insurance. If you just get your SDs, your taxis, your liveries, and you want to be able to do some things, they got in-house financing available for you. So go and check them out. They can be able to take very, very, very good care of you. 341-1AFS. That's 341-1AFS. They can take care of you. Number 407 Blue Hill Road South. You can be able to check them out. Ask for my good, decent friend, Ethric Bow, or Mr. Richard Richardson. He's right in there. He can be able to assist you with that. I got to shout out my good, decent people over at MST Bar, MST Rebar. They got everything available for you. Check my good guy, Avery Lightborn out. I know he's always here, always excited to be able to talk about these things. This is phenomenal stuff that's actually going on right now, and it's actually moving the market significantly. A lot of persons are moving towards that. So you want to find out more about that if you're in that kind of a space and you want to be able to see exactly what's what. Please go down there and check him out. He is located right on the side of, and I keep forgetting what this building name formerly, but he's located right on the side of McDonald's in the blue building right there where ZSR 103.5 used to be, right on the side of McDonald's in Palmdale. So he can be able to take very good care of you in those areas, and you can give him a shout too. He'll be looking forward to be able to hear from you guys. His numbers you can be able to reach him at is, where's the number again? 557-5814, 557-5814. That's one of the numbers that you can be able to reach, and he'll be able to distribute you and tell you where to go. I get that information there. Guys, it's a beautiful day. Grateful to be in your company. Grateful to be in this kind of a space with you. I'm going to get into a deep conversation with you right now in 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds. But before I do that, I got to be able to say, pick up your Guardian newspaper. All the information's in there. Today is a little thick. You know that. Today is a little thick. Every Thursday, we always acknowledge the fact that we have our brothers and sisters who's transitioned right there in the obituary section. I know that this is a hard time, especially for the mother, who just lost their 3 sons. I know this is a hard time for those persons that we've seen over the past week and whatnot, whether it's the motorbike accident, whether it's the gentleman who was in the canal. We know that this is a difficult time for a lot of persons. I like to say this to you. I like to always tell you that if you're in that space and if you're the one responsible for being able to identify how we're going to be able to take care of your loved one, how we're going to be able to put this person in the proper space and ensure that we can be able to capture the essence of who they are and who they were rather, and be able to put them down in style. I always say to you, go check out my good decent people over at Butler's Funeral Homes and Crematorium. They're located on York and Ernest Street, just there, right down there, just before, on the south of Fish Fry, of Porter's Dock. You can be able to find them right there in the plaza, behind the plaza, Ernest and York Street. And they can take very good care of you. Just let them know that Howard Grant sent you down there, and you won that A+ treatment, guys. So it's a beautiful day. Grateful to be in your company. Like I said, I continue to say that because I'm glad to be in the land of the living. A lot of our brothers and sisters in here, praise God, we here. The other day, I had a very good conversation. One of my friends, who I hadn't spoken to for a long time, my phone rang off. I didn't even know how to let us, and that kind of ought to know why I hear from him in so long, right? Phone rang off. I had a conversation with him, and it was just after we were talking about the Valley Boys, right? And he says, Howard, I hear you talking about it, because we were talking about it on Monday. He said, Howard, I hear you talking about it. And let me give you some insight. And so he expanded on some stuff and said, Howard, this is what it is. This is what it is. I'm trying to give you some information. He says, now, right after the government has taken on a position and indicated what they want to be able to do with us, then, Howard, I will come on. Well, yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? That we saw that they're going to be able to ensure that the seed fund is going down the middle, or $30,000 for the world famous Valley Boys and then the Valley Boys, right? So there's two Junkanoo groups, and I think the JCNP has taken on this kind of position to say that they're in a fun group category. We saw some other persons come out to be able to speak about that, but today we are going to get clarity. We have a wonderful gentleman in the towering here in the studio to tell us all about what's happening from the steering committee. He is none other than Davon Jones. Mr. Jones, it is wonderful to see you, my brother. Say good afternoon to the people out there.
Good afternoon, Bahamas.
My brother, it is wonderful to see you. I'm happy that you're here. I suppose that Trevor ain't here, so I'm glad that you've been able to come in and kind of talk to me about that. Introduce yourself, let persons know who you are, your commitment to the Valley Boys, how you've been doing this for a long time, and what position you play.
Good morning, Bahamas. My name is Davon Jones, a member of the Valley Boys. Obviously, been a part of the group for over 40 years. I've participated in multiple aspects of Junkanoo, from Bella to dancer to I've done lead costumes before.
Dancer?
Yeah, dancer.
Did you
Dancer costume, not choreographed.
Oh,
No. It's costuming. I've won awards in virtually every category. I've hit the board in lead. I've hit the board in off the show. Done a lot of very memorable Bellas over the years, and we set a lot of trends in the Valley Boys. The Killer Bees, which became kind of famous.
Wu-Tang?
No, we had the lead Bellas in the Valley Boys are called Killer Bees. And there's a group of us who formed that name and really got some great recognition and where they are together. I'm only here in the capacity of sitting in for Mr. Davis, who happens to be traveling on Valley Boy business, to help us get ready for the parade in this coming season.
Well, I want to talk to you about this because there has been sort of a decision made to identify the fact, and I said this to him, and I said this to Trevor, and I said, I don't think that you're fighting formality. I think that you're fighting relationships. And what we've seen is that there is a significant relationship that the country enjoys with both the Valley Boys and the Saxons, but today we're talking about the Valley Boys. You are a part of the fabric of who we are as Bahamians, not just the fabric of our society. You are part of our DNA. And we've watched you've grown, just like you said, 40 years as a generation, you've been a part of a Junkanoo group. And your commitment to those and what you've done and how the cross-section of people from all genres of society, whether it's doctors, lawyers, nurses, priests, fellas out here who got alcoholic issues would sober up for a couple of days, whatever this is, you're part of this society. And I realize that people who've been elevated in this country, whether it's political or from a professional standpoint, they still have their heartstring is in a particular Junkanoo group. And so when I saw this and we started to talk about this, and I realized that the government is doing their best to kind of assist you, and so these particular entities is trying to assist you in one way or another, tolerating you in a sense just to be able to accommodate this and accommodate what those persons expect. I feel like you're fighting relationships. I feel like this is nothing. This is accommodate you, make sure that you're comfortable, because we as a country need you to be able to participate. Tell me what's happening in the back of that.
I'll tell you, one of the most encouraging things I heard from the minister, and I thought it was very poignant, and he was speaking, you could tell that he was passionate about it, is that he wants to savor the culture and the interests of the best possible parade. And he did not want to see a clear infighting, if you will, to affect what the general public and the fans experience come Christmas and New Year's. So that said, obviously you have two detached bodies in terms of the government providing funding and the JCNP managing a parade. The JCNP, who happens to manage the parade, headed by Mr. Dion Miller, had made their position poignantly clear that they will entertain no one other than Brian Adderley's quote-unquote leadership on behalf of the Valley Boys.
That was a strong position.
That was a very strong position to take without understanding and that's one of the things that we'll get into, that you can't be objective if you form an opinion before the facts are laid before you.
But what's the criteria even before that? There should be criteria.
So if you go back to the story, just as the Valley Boys, you would hear people of the other side would have said in interviews that the Valley Boys does not air their dirty laundry. That's a fact, right? Everyone would speak of Gus Cooper, and we've all had our run-ins with him, but we've had a tremendous amount of respect for him. So even if he rubbed you the wrong way, a couple of weeks later he'll come back and say, "Man, you know what? I mean it like that, but you got to be ready. Let's go to Bay." These issues that have ballooned now have existed 4 or 5 years ago. Kept getting kicked down the road. Everywhere from concerns from finances to group management to communication to respect to creativity to input has been expressed, right? And it got worse and worse and worse. I commend Trevor Davis because, quite frankly, as a business person, I would not put down my business to deal with this because he's committed a lot and made a lot of sacrifice to get this movement where it is, him along with others. So we are where we are today because the minister has indicated that he supports both sides. And Mrs. Dion Miller says he only supports Brian Adderley. Well, I have a very simple question. When the registration happened for the group, did Brian Adderley register Brian Adderley or the Valley Boys?
I have a simple question also. When the registration happened for the group, who registered the group?
What happened is this. Brian Adderley registered the group, the Valley Boys, right? We, as in Trevor, Davis, and co., and the members have already explained and expressed deep concern to Brian Adderley as the management of the finances of the group, the responsible and transparent communication to the group.
It's accountability.
And it's accountability.
Yeah.
The response was, we do not have the answer to you. A letter was presented to them and it was torn up in the face of Mr. Davis and said, we do not have the answer to you.
And Trevor Adderley.
Trevor Davis.
Trevor Davis and you, what is the amount of persons that you represent when you're coming here? Because
over 800.
Over 800
Over
people.
800.
Over 800 people.
Registered people.
Registered people.
Yes.
Who are officially a part of the Valley Boys.
Yes.
Have committed themselves to the leadership of this grouping that you guys have identified.
We made a tremendous demonstration of this fact on Independence Past.
So how much Valley Boys are there?
Listen, you would be surprised at how many people left the Valley Boys because of Brian Adderley. I mean, let me just be very clear. I do not have a problem with Brian Adderley. I'll have a beer with him tomorrow. I don't have a problem with him. He's not a bad person, but he has some bad habits, and his time has passed. Okay? The problem is we have lost so many members because of Brian Adderley. When Brian Adderley left, I could tell you at least 10 noted builders in Junkanoo left wherever they were and came back to the Valley Boys.
No matter what they were doing.
No matter what they were doing.
Genesis, Roots,
Peter Gold Turnquest, one of the better known builders in Junkanoo. He's with this movement. Rat, who's known throughout Junkanoo for years, is with this movement. These are people who left.
To show their allegiance.
They're not afraid. They've made their position patently clear that they will not operate under Brian. And again, this is not, Junkanoo is free. I have so many things. I told somebody the other day, every year, between me and my sons, I spend a minimum of $10,000 on Junkanoo. A minimum. I don't get that from the Valley Boys. I have to buy crepe paper. This is the Valley Boys. I have to buy contact. I have to scrap with my friends and other groups to get certain things. So I'm saying we should not have to do that. So all I'm saying is, to the JCMP, if you really, but mean what you say, that you want to put the best forward, why would you, the day of the minister saying, I will give both sides the money, let the best man win, you would say, well, I will only accept one of them. I want the other one to go in F. Why would you say that?
But why would they want to diminish you to the?
Why
third
would you
group?
want to do that? I'll ask you a question. There are groups in A right now who had to give up their money last year to bring it back.
You remember this?
Okay? This group, again, their founder came from the Valley Boys. Their founder has a stellar performance with the Valley Boys with lead costume. Okay? That group, for years, have brought incomplete group, costume with no hand, costume with no head, no choreograph. They're saying that group belongs in A. But 80% of what they know as the Valley Boys should go in F.
Who gets to make so this is the JCNP?
This is JCNP. Now,
the judge and jury.
So let me help you understand the context of this, because
Okay,
everyone
please.
likes to get on their soapbox to talk, but they're not being honest. The JCNP is made up of members of the Junkanoo community, which where they all have their bias, right?
Their allegiance is
Their
with the
allegiance
group because-
right. Now, a few things you must understand. If both groups end up in A, that is going to lessen my chance of winning, because I have one more strong group
I see what you're
to
doing
compete
right here.
against.
I see what you're doing right here. So, essentially, what you're saying to me, if you got two forms of Valley Boy, the chances for what it is
It's just diminished.
to win is greater. So the Saxons may not necessarily get it again, or any of these other Junkanoo groups may not necessarily get it again. If you got two Valley Boys being here,
And
that's heavy what you're saying.
And think about it now. If the Dion Miller is going to say, "Oh, we're sticking to the rules," I just pointed out, you told when the Valley Boys resigned, they were supposed to sit out a year. That didn't happen. The groups got together and they say, "Let them back in and let them rush." It happened. Why? Because it was an unprecedented circumstance, and you came up with a solution for the betterment of the culture. And my problem is, this is why Junkanoo remains where we have to be scrapping around here for materials, and we're not able to get the best. I spoke to a very good friend of mine who happens to be a former leader of a major group, and he is known for excellent costumes. And we all talk about, because we all did costumes before, Prize Money before. And he said, I said, what if they gave $20,000 for Off the Shoulder? Would you do one? He said, absolutely. Absolutely. I say that to say this. The leaders in Junkanoo aren't thinking on that level. Because what happens is the people with the talent who could get the resources to bring forward the best possible product have no incentive in getting into this nonsense.
So where does the $30,000 go? Hypothetically.
I'll give you an example. It doesn't go very far. It's seed money. That's just it.
Yeah, well, if you got to spend $10,000,
Exactly.
On an average, I hear people say that they had to spend $3,000 just to get ready for Junkanoo.
Listen to me.
On an average.
Listen to me. Join the Valley Boys.
How you gonna spend this? Where do you get this money from?
When I joined the Valley Boys, used to get Gus Cooper was around. You had guys like Zap who managed materials, and you go there to pick up your paper. If you use the belly, you get your sheet of gold, your sheet of orange, your sheet of aqua, your sheet of paper, your sheet of white. You get that, everything was under control. Okay, you used to get glitter from the group and all. Okay? Now to today, I have to buy my own contact. I have to get my own paint. Last year I remember I used to have to meet Brian in the parking lot to
For
get
those
some
who
white.
listen and who don't know, contact is glue. It's
No,
the glue.
contact
This-
is used while you're building. It's hold the cardboard together and the rods and the wire. Glue is actually for the patient. Glue is the white one. Contact is the brown one.
Okay.
A lot of jargon here, so I apologize.
This is you're giving me a lot.
So I said that to say this: if you take that 30,000, by the time the group buy rods and crepe paper, that's gone. Rods, crepe paper, gone. Gone.
$30,000 just gone.
Gone. For a group the size of the Valley Boys, gone. We still need to assist with the girls' preparation,
Yeah.
building leads,
Yeah.
building
And is
banners.
everything volunteer also? Because the people who
Many things are
choreograph, you gotta put something in
volunteer.
their
But,
pocket.
but many things. Some are volunteer, and some have to be. You have to provide a stipend. I mean, the Valley Boys historically didn't pay, right? But in these times, again, what happened? Independence. the Bryan Valley Boys pretty much paid for some guys to come from Grand Bahama and other places and paid them to rush in the independents because they had no brass. Because the whole brass of the Valley Boys is with us. So I say that to say this. That's like you have, let's use the Miami Dolphins. If they weren't properly documented. And tomorrow they say they don't want to pay the players, so they say, all right, y'all go. I can find some other fellas and come on them. And get them. Now you know they're going to get beat. The other jungle groups know the world class will not be at full capacity. They know they get beat. That's why they want them there. Okay? So what happened yesterday when Dion Miller put this thing out there that you're going in F, everyone got an influx of calls from that side beckoning them to come back. I even got called. Man, come do one dancer. Man, they ain't going to the road. Because it's all a ploy. And it's sad because you in one vein saying you want to have the best quality parade. But in the other time, you compromising the quality parade. You know that's not going to be a quality production they're going to do. You know where the quality is. You know where the power is. You know where the strength of the valley is. So you want to hurt that and put that in the corner, and you want to elevate Bryan. They don't like Bryan.
I want to know some stuff. I got to take this commercial break, but when we get back, I want to talk to you about some stuff. I want to talk about egotistical, and I want to talk whether or not we can actually work this out. I still need to understand the stipulations associated with why the JCNP could make a determination of a group of this particular enormity, a group that is registered, a group that is identified, a group that has every subsector available to be able to perform a top tier category in an A group, in the A group category.
Correct.
Why would they diminish you to such a position and have people view you in a particular light? Let me take this quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Be right back after this.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
At Popeyes, we put love in our chicken by marinating it for 12 hours. For a limited time, head on over to Popeyes and purchase 5 pieces of our famous Louisiana bone-in chicken for just $10. Give your family a taste of Popeyes without going over budget by adding on a signature side. Popeyes, that crazy price we love.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools. Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Are you tired of the same old 5K runs? Want something more? Then get ready for the Chick Charney Challenge City Run on September 28th, starting at Crypto Wild. Test your strength, stamina, and spirit. It takes all of you to dodge, climb, conquer obstacles as you race through the heart of the city. Lace up and get to the Chick Charney Challenge City Run. Register now on our website, chickcharneychurn.com, or on our social media pages. Brought to you by Colina, Island Yogurt, Advantage Insurance, Art of Graphics, Crypto Wild, and Guardian Radio 96.9.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company. The foundation live and in full effect. At 1 o'clock hour, I will be taking some calls, okay? At the 1 o'clock hour, I will be taking some calls. I see you guys are calling in. I know that you want to be able to participate in these things. If you're out there and you're listening and you want to be able to chime in and lend your support to this group and say what your hopefully we could be able to let the JCNP know that we believe that this group, the Valley Boys, has what it takes to be able to be top tier A class, the A group category, and we want to be able to see that. So we're going to have good conversation, just be able to get clarity. I'm sitting here with none other than Davon Jones, who's a Beller and definitely a part of the steering committee here, being able to talk to us about what's happening in the Valley Boys. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about these things because, you know what I said yesterday, or not Monday, I said this, that what happens in Junkanoo, for me, is a representation of what's happening in the country. It's hard to understand, but what moves the organizations to be able to protest, to be able to activate, to be able to participate, the gloom that existed in the country during those times in COVID when we didn't have Junkanoo, my God, we didn't know what to do. We knew it was over for us. And to see this sort of a revived, renewed sense of what's happening out here and everybody getting back on and that kind of a spirit of competition that was revived in the country to lead to this point now is an issue. And so we want to talk about it. We're here with Davon Jones. Davon, talk to me about this, man. Talk to me about these things. Now, I need to know step by step, because I know that you're passionate about these things, but I need to know step by step. Now, first and foremost, I still wrapped up in the JCNP. The JCNP seems to be the beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega are making a determination of who gets into the group. But before they make this determination, what is the criteria? How do you qualify so that JC is you and makes a determination which grouping you will be in? Talk to me about it.
I mean, I presume you're referring to the category A,
category A, category B, and so forth. Yeah.
So if it's clear that we would have done off parades like the Independence Parade, and we probably had the largest group out there, this past Independence. So effectively, a category group has more than 201 members.
Mm-hmm.
It has, you would need 8 off-the-shoulder dancers.
Mm-hmm.
You'd need 12 choreographed, 10 free dancers, a brass section, 1 lead costume, right? Now, these are things that only could be realistically understood at the time of the parade.
Mm-hmm.
And we clearly could produce that because all the people who produce those things are on our side, right? So that leads me to say this. If there was a sincere desire to have what's best for the group or the culture, there would have been some overture or question by the JCNP to the Valley Boy quote-unquote factions that they now are referring to us as. What's going on, who's what, who's where, and if it could be two of y'all, as the minister has now indicated, how do we move forward?
How can you not fix this internally within the Valley Boy fraction?
All right, let me give you an example. There were many attempts made to fix this. And I give people like Trevor Davis, Michael Foster, Herbie Bain, etc., I give them great commendation simply because they stood up to a giant of an organization, right? It became almost communist, right? So people like me who love Junkanoo, I'll show up in August, prepare my costume, bring my kids, we rush, we have fun, I go home and I forget about it till next. But these people are so passionate about it, they say, no, we can't continue this. Trevor has been complaining about this for 3 years. Trevor's company used to sponsor the Valley Boys backline shirts, Alpha's Out, for years. And to hear them talk about the guy who sponsored the backline for years, has-beens, was shocking to me. I listened to them and I listened to Brian Adley. Again, I don't have nothing personal against him. He said in their press conference, everybody wants to be a Valley Boy. They can go, 1 leave, 5 will come. That's what he said. I took grave exception to that. Everybody wants to be a Valley Boy.
A world famous Valley Boy?
Or whatever. But at the end of the day, all the people who produce the content that makes the Valley Boys famous.
Quality content.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I want the public to be able to see who swimming naked.
But we got, okay. So let me say this. Let me say this because we can get into some things and I just need to know if there is an undeniable, irrefutable position that is taken that we no longer seek to kind of mend this gap, this issue that was existing within the Valley Boys. Like you said, Trevor has been at it for years. Trevor and I had a very good conversation. He indicated to me that, Howard, we've been at this, we've been doing this, we've tried to introduce formality to this and accountability to these particular things, and it's very hard for people to be able to participate because other people have other issues, and we need to know where the money is going and how we can help. So Trevor said this to me, and I said to Trevor, and just having conversation, I said, well, if you all got the majority of people, why don't y'all just put this to a vote for the body?
Yes.
Why don't you just put it to a vote for the body?
Let me bring some clarity to that. When Trevor first said this to me, those are my sentiments. We could work this out. Let's just have a conversation. And he made the attempts to have a conversation. Met with. In other words, we don't have to answer to you. Fine. So I then said, one of the most jarring illustrations that came to my attention was, apparently, every Junkanoo season, Brian Adderley, on behalf of the Valley Boys, would receive Junkanoo tickets.
This is alleged, or you know this information?
Yeah, this is a fact. This is known fact. Okay. Known fact. I mean, verified by people who issue the tickets. In the thousands of tickets, right? And the tickets are sold, right? And they are credited, right? And when the tickets are sold, if the Valley Boys win or lose or whatever happened, whenever the prize money is to be received, the amount due for the tickets that they got advanced is deducted from the check. So let's say I get 2,000 tickets, right? And every ticket costs $10. That means I have $20,000 worth of tickets, right? And I win $50,000.
You're only getting 30.
You're only getting 30. The problem is this. Where did that 20,000 go? The group don't know about.
You sell the tickets, but there's no accountability.
There's no accountability for the money.
Because you ain't paid the JCNP twice.
You ain't pay the JCNP twice. You let them take money, no none the wiser. And that's all the check you get. And if you tell them, they owe us some more money and they don't want to get check, so what's happening?
So the accountability is the issue here.
It's the issue. And that's one of the major questions. Now, again, disclaimer. If they know otherwise, I invite them to table the proof so that we don't have to have no one making no ambiguous claims. All I'm saying is that these that were put to us as to how the Valley Boys, who've been around years, fighting to get a couple of rods of the dog.
And this operation,
imagine, I'll give an example.
Always happen like this.
I'll give an example. We are the group where they saying they putting an F. We just offloaded a shipment of rods at the shack. Right? Mm-hmm. But they saying that's the group who ready for A. You see the difference? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to explain to you that the only way to have if a group been around 60 years and you don't have no growth format, all you're doing is saying one leave, five come, what's going to happen? Are you going to grow? Or is your quality going to diminish? The reason why people have seen the Valley Boys quality diminish over the years because so many people who have put in so much time have left. So to answer your question, there is no sincere or real desire. Almost every Junkanoo leader wants Dion Miller to say what he's saying. They support that. I just saw the leader of one family saying he supported it. Of course he's going to support it. Why would it help his cause to bring the best?
Essentially what you're saying, because they can mash up the world famous.
Absolutely.
They can mash them up.
Absolutely.
What's the numbers you think they have?
I don't know, but I imagine based on their theory, if one leave, five would come, they probably have 2,000. Because everybody gone. Oh. So what I'm saying is that they can, if you say you're good, put everyone on the table, let's go to war then. So why would you start these?
Well, why the best man can't just win?
See, because
listen what I'm saying. Now we have to go back to ancient Roman times in this particular state. You are warriors. The Valley Boys are fighters. This is what you do. You prepare for war every single year. You do it 2 times back to back every year. Everything other than that is only practice. At this point, you have an infraction. There's indifference that exists within the organization. And as a result of the indifference that exists, have a rush off. And the best man take all. That hard, that ain't hard.
No, it's
have
not-
a rush off, mash the people up, put these things down, get your lawyers. See, maybe I put in complexity to it. but
At the end of the
let's
day,
do it.
so let me give you an example where I see Junkanoo. I think I may have mentioned it on Aaron Green's show the other day. We in Junkanoo supposed to be at the point where this is so sought after that the best of the best going into their private shack to bring you costumes. Davon Jones supposed to be able to go get $15,000 sponsorship just for his costume. That's how good it's going to be. Okay? But we've relegated ourselves to this nonsense, arguing about $30,000 seed money, when this Junkanoo is supposed to be bringing us hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Millions.
You know example I gave them the other day?
I believe that this
I
is
said,
a $1
listen.
million operation.
I said, listen. If you charge a culture tax to every room night that Atlantis, Bama, a culture tax of 50 cents a night. 50 cents a night. To every guest who spends a night is on you. And if we got, call it
10 million guests.
Imagine you got 10,000 rooms.
10 million guests at 50 cents is $5 million.
Let's do some real math so we don't think people think we're talking nonsense, okay? If you get 10,000 rooms and we got an average occupancy of 70%, so you say times 70, so you got 7,000 rooms a night. And if you charge 50 cents, 7,000 times 50 cents is $3,500 a night, times 365. That's $1.2 million.
Relegated solely for culture.
Solely for culture.
And then the minister make a determination.
Well, what kind of prize? 100,000 now for winning. Best costume is 50,000. You're getting real sponsorship now. So what's going to happen? The quality of costuming is going to elevate. It's going to elevate. So now you have the best of the best kind of
quality of
costume.
participation will
It's going to elevate. But no, we talking about, oh, y'all gonna be good? Go to the F group. But what they don't understand is, legally, the entity who's registered is us.
Okay, this is basically you put me all around the bush to get me here.
The entity who's registered as the Valley Boys is the entity that's registered.
Now,
by
you don't want to have
Mr.
this
Chairman.
conversation with me. Because this
I
is
have no
deep-
problem with that.
This is a deep conversation I can get in right now.
I have no problem.
Okay, so let's do this. All right. Now, I see telephone calls. I can open up the lines right now. Right. Based upon the information I have, based upon the information I've received, the first group to register, which was the Valley Boys, the business license that was distributed to identify those things, the incorporation, the registration, all these things, the Valley Boys Junkanoo Group was registered. After that, you can't get that. I can't get the Valley Boys Junkanoo Group B. I can't do that, right? However, what has happened is that the Registrar General, based upon the information I received, and I want to be this, and y'all clear me up if I need the Registrar General has allowed an opportunity for the world famous Valley Boys to be registered while the Valley Boys was already registered. This isn't all. Why are they fighting the legality of these things?
You know, we all know in our system, fighting things legally is not in the best interest of time. Let's just say that. Now, I think everyone is aware of some of the things that happen. One of the most concerning things that I recall that I learned is that who happens to be a famous was actually who works at Inland Revenue. Was actually
You got to say things like alleged. Don't let them
Alleged.
Don't let me sue them. You know.
no, alleged. I mean,
ahead.
it's what
Let's
I've
go.
been told. It's alleged
Okay, let's go.
that he was some backdating of documents would have happened and he would have wound up getting put on leave. Temporary leave, he's back to work now. It's sad we would let our culture compromise someone's livelihood out of desperation.
What's even sadder is someone will let their own livelihood.
Oh yeah, but because you
compromise.
got listen,
because
how
of
you
that.
got to understand that this Junkanoo thing. This ain't no joke. I hear I got all kind of things I could be doing. You see what I do in there? This is serious. So I'm saying to you that there is some desperation here because you got to understand there are some people who managed the Valley Boys who managed us before, who this is a livelihood situation for them.
I like this.
And I am not proud of that. I'm not proud to say that. And I think, and one of the things that Trevor mentioned to me, he said, Davon, I don't even have an issue if these fellas get a stipend for the work that they did and they support going on. But we just can't keep going on like this, where we scratching all the time. But that's not enough for some people, right? So registration-wise, the Valley Boys has been registered by Trevor Davis and the group itself, like 19 people, okay? The group of people own the name the Valley Boys. They cannot get it back no matter what they call themselves. They're not the Valley Boys. So if Dion Miller is saying the Valley Boys are registered, there's only one group who could show up, and that's this group. So whatever spinning he's trying to do, I don't ever remember seeing no group going down saying Brian Adderley. They said the Valley Boys. And if it's a new group, the new group has to go through the B category or whatever, the entry level, to get up to the A group. Like what Genesis had to do. So the person who he's trying to put in the F group is the group who belongs in A. But once again, you got to understand, that group is managed by, or the people around the table there are the Junkanoo on this whole matter. Okay? And sadly, that's a big reason why Junkanoo has not evolved in this country.
Wow. Because
there is no vision. The only thing everyone after is bragging rights and who will win best costume and what is no. Look at the numbers of tourists who visit to do Junkanoo. Look at it. Very few. The only one who like Junkanoo is us. We've played it out.
And Chad Ochocinco.
Yeah, we played it out. We put it to Marina Village and we water it down every time, everywhere. You come playing line, Junkanoo, new school, Junkanoo. We took the mystique out of it. I remember growing up, when you smell the kerosene, you only smell that around a certain time of year and you know what's coming. Now, every other day is a rush out. So I think these are some of the things that where we could turn it into something of value. And that's why I say the people in the front are hurting Junkanoo more than helping it.
Let me take this quick call before we go to a commercial break. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, Mr. Jones, how you doing?
Hello.
I just wanted to know, were you ever a part of the management team of the Valley Boys?
No, I was never a part of the management team.
Okay. You was always a Valley Boys as well, too?
I was a Valley Boy from 1988.
Okay. So you know that members never really voted for the chairman of the group?
That's correct.
Okay. So my thing is, who gave Mr. Davis the authority to register the Valley Boys' name?
That's a very good question. So let me answer the question.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to let him answer. And then
we were in a situation in the group. Imagine you in a group, you on a boat, and the pilot is carrying you, the captain is carrying you into perilous waters. And everybody say, boy, pirates over there, don't go that way. And he's saying, I don't care, I go in that way. And everyone on the boat say, please don't take us that way. And he say, I don't care, we going because that's the way I like. Right? Now, we all worked to build this boat. He built this boat by himself, We all own this boat. He don't own the boat. We all own the boat. Are you going to sit on the boat and say, well, he's the captain. Let's just run into the pirate seas, or do you make moves to save your life and your boat? That is essentially what was done. Trevor Davis is a very, very brave man, because many people wouldn't have done it. Because there are many things that you don't know. And I think people would have heard the former Prime Minister, Mr. Perry Christie, pointed out his concern, because he was a member, and he even said, man, I really hope we could work this out. Because we don't need to go.
All of us in the same position. I really hope that we can work this out also.
Yeah, but it's sad when you hear people talking like this. The man, you got a group where you scrapping for material and they say, let it go like this. You will destroy the group. So to that I say, no, we never voted. But back then when Gus Cooper was around, I never scrapped for nothing.
Let's take a quick break, guys. We get back and dive deeper into this conversation on the other side.
Foundation.
The Foundation will be back right after this.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion. Located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama Market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Wait, you know what going down tomorrow?
No, babe, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school? He could do Junior in.
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Penn. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side...
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I work?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you say. Call 328-8477 from Nassau, or 242-300-8477 from the Family Island.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation, live and in full effect. Grateful to be in your company. Got to tell you about Coco Plum Bistro. Grateful to be able to talk about this. Go down to my good friend Chantel, man. They always get some great things going on. I want you to go down there. I keep saying to you, breaking bread over a meal is the beginning of a contract, the beginning of a relationship, the beginning of how things need to be able to happen. I always take my kids out to really be able to find out where they are and what they're doing. And you can do the same thing in a beautiful environment with some great drinks, nice music on the weekend or whatnot. Go down there, Coco Plum Bistro. It's located when you're going west towards Life at Key, right there on the right-hand side in the Green Plaza. Just ask for my good girl, Chantel, and she'd be more than happy to assist you in those areas. Or book your reservation, 677-6776 or opentable.com, 677-6776. Well, when we left off, guys, talking about Junkanoo. You heard it over the news. You heard it all over these things. You see it all over the papers because it is a national conundrum. We in some real problems right here because we want clarity. We want this thing to be solved and settled and find a position that we can all be able to enjoy and participate in the Junkanoo that we know and we love. Sitting with me in the studio today is none other than Davon Jones, who's a part of the steering committee. Valley Boys. This ain't the world famous. This is the Valley Boys, which is registered in the Registrar General's office. In the Registrar General's department, you are registered, and you were the first group to be registered as the Valley Boys. You got all the cards. It seems as though you got all the cards.
Well, I think the intent, and I think what a lot of people are missing, the intent was never to separate the group or split the group. That was never the intent. The intent was to regularize and properly bring structure and transparency to the group. Because prior to this, had we not done it, someone from one family could have done it.
Anybody could take
and create just mischief if they wanted to. Roots could have done it. We did what irresponsible leaders didn't did. And it's for the betterment of the Valley Boys. We never said, ever said, Brian, you're not a part of the Valley Boys. Cisco, you're not a part of the Valley Boys. This was never said. All we're saying was the group, after making several overtures to everyone, please, guys, we got to get this in order. And they said, we're ignoring you. We don't have to answer to you. We then said, well, we got to take this in our own hands because we love this. And the way these guys are taking us, we're going to get in trouble. That's all that's happened. So there was no, I heard this nonsense of hostile takeover. We did what is required to protect the group. What is happening within this group, or to get into the public, we'll have a hard time even getting sponsorship if people know some of the nonsense. What is
I
happening.
wonder now if sponsorship is.
Yeah, because this is how it's hurting it round and round. That's why we are bringing transparency. That's why we're bringing plans, structure. Now you got something to fall back on. But if you're just doing this, notebook business, it's going to be hard to have structure. And I don't have anything against Brian and anybody. But I think we just trying to do it the right way so we could have something to stand on for years to come.
Let's read some of these texts and go to the lines. The lines are lit right up, guys. The numbers that you can call, 323-6232, 325-431-6325, 4259, anywhere for the family of islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796 on the text. Let me see if I can read a couple of these texts. It says, Brian Adley has the original backline, which consists of the majority of the members. They were told to register as a new group before June 1st, and they were advised that leadership did not change. This is the info. This is a text coming through.
Right. But I mean, to that, it's a very simple thing. I mean, that's someone obviously they prompted to say that. I only asked him to go and take a look at who rushed with Brian Adderley, and take a look at who rushed with us in the blue Valley Boy shirts, and rethink that text that they just sent. Okay? Who has the original backline? Who has the numbers? Who has the brass?
I saw that.
Okay.
So the blue shirt was yours.
Was us. A lot of those people you saw with Brian them, you probably know them from Freeport because that's where they're from.
You wilding up, right?
Yeah, that's where they're from. Yeah.
One more text and I come to the line. It says, good day. I'm a one family member. I'm a one family fam. However, my question is, if the registrar gave the world famous Valley Boys until the 19th to change their name, how can the JCNP tell them that they're going in the A category and that Trevor Davis's group goes in the fun category? If they have the legal authority of the name, are we now saying that we are going against the law? I've been following it for a while now, and that's really interesting. This text is coming through. A lot of persons are being able to say these things.
It's sad because what it does, it relegates the conversation to a very, very basic tenet in that what are we trying to achieve at the end of the day? Do we want to get into the semantics of who shot John, who got the right this and who got the right that, or what the clear intent of the movement is? The clear were being held in bondage. They were being told by a leader that you can't ask me what I do with the money. You can't tell me nothing. Just rush because you love this Valley Boys, or I'll take it from you.
Wow.
Okay? So we said we are going to stand up to this because the people, we have people like Robert Ferguson who've been around this group over 50 years. He's a lead beller. Herbie Bain. Been around forever. I mean, he's known in the Junkanoo community. Win lead, win this, win that. Known.
And the
lead bellers, Robert Ramin, Hans Manka, Damien Sweeten, Shimon Bain. Who original backline they have? Who?
And they with y'all.
They with the Valley Boys.
I think everybody just craving for.
But all I'm saying is the side.
Proper order.
The side day is this. The side day is this. And I feel bad for the people who would Brian them, because when I listened to him make that comment, 1 leave 5 come. A lot of them knew, right? So they just happy to say, because you know what he say? Everybody was telling them, you are all replaceable. Imagine someone telling you that, and you sitting there nodding your head.
That's crazy.
For something voluntary.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, when we had the issue with the Shark the other day, and they were saying these are husbands. I still got trophies from things I win with the Valley Boys. Donations I would have made to the Valley Boys. Many of us would have made to the Valley Boys.
And continue to make.
How can you call those people their husbands? Why would you say that? You know, I mean, you may have a different, I have a different opinion. But again,
But you're a husband.
I don't have nothing against Brian. I don't have nothing against Cisco. But what I don't agree with is how they're trying to mislead the public.
I want to talk resolution now. I want to talk about these things. Let me see if I can get a telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Howard.
Good afternoon, my brother. What's up?
And good afternoon, Devon Jones.
All right, good afternoon.
Amen. Amen, Devon. Because the GNN been fighting this with Guardian Radio by myself for a little while. I thank the Lord for you today. Because all of the things that you are saying, the GNN been saying, and if Howard them want to be real, they'll tell you that. All of Dwight and them, even up to this morning. You understand?
Thank you.
The world, whatever they call themselves, is not what they cranked up to be. And like Devon is saying, we are here today because more than 15 times we extended an olive branch to Brian with his arrogant self, and he never showed up.
Don't cuss
and
Brian on
we
the
never
radio.
stole the license like Devon said. What we did, the license was left in arrears for 15 years. I said this earlier this week, 15 years, so we brought it up to date so it don't end up like Combe in New Orleans. That's how they stole. He was trying to take Junkanoo away from us because it wasn't properly brought up to date and registered. It's the same thing with the Shark lease. The Shark lease ain't in Trevor name, ain't in the Vaughn name, it ain't in Howard name, it in the Valley Boys name. And you think the government could give us an extended lease if it wasn't in the original Valley Boys name? Come on, Bahamians. Yeah. Y'all got to learn to think. We have to learn to think. We ain't got Perry Christie Eno, new Valley Boy. Perry Christie was there from the inception. Galah was one of the first 6 drummers in the Valley Boys in 1958. Brian come in the late 80s and 93 to take over the chairmanship with Gus Hunt to them. Marvin Johnson and Devon Jones, 88 Devon, Marvin Johnson, 1976. Valley Boys, once upon a time, 24 people in the group. But you know something, what I noticed? Bahamian people like to gravitate towards illegal stuff and disloyalty. They will gravitate towards that. When you come with the truth, you be like Christ. They put you on the cross and they put nails in your hands.
They call Barabbas. They want Barabbas though.
They want Barabbas because we are telling the God's truth. And like the Bond say, if people like me and the Bond can speak, we ain't scared. If we open up and say some things what's going on, like how we lost Paradise sponsor, and how Miller on East Street upstairs there in the Saxons was telling people like Marvin, I could put somebody in court.
Now, hold on. You're putting too much information out there, and you go people call me and hate me.
Pull back.
All right, praise God. Pull back on that.
But we are telling the truth. But one thing I can leave now, because thank God for the bond today. One thing I can leave, what the JCN, Dion need to stop being petty. He need to stop because I already put case precedents out there this morning with some members in our group where he tried the same thing with the Immortals. And Jermaine, a little boy, stood up to him and went to Bay Street. And the Valley Boys, way forward, is going to do that. Case file is out there.
Wow.
Dion don't know he opened himself up to a very serious lawsuit because you cannot make a policy like what he make that discriminates against one set of Bahamians that you telling another set of Bahamians they cannot do. We won't go.
And that's what we're talking about today, man. And that's what we're trying to figure out. What's the legality here? What is the criteria? How can you determine who's going to go in the A category and who's going to go in the fun category? How can this be a determination that you could make at a drop of a dime after everything was laid out on the table with formality? Let me take a next telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
I just want to make a few points, right? Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
A few points to make. I think what persons are doing is confusing the word registration, right? because you register with under the Registrar General or whatever you are, that has nothing to do with your registration at the JCNP. All right? The requirements to rush on the parade are for you to have a tin and or business license along with one or two other documents, register before June 1st, and then you are able to rush in your designated division, right? Also, the JCNP is private and it governs Junkanoo, right? The government cannot necessarily tell the JCNP must be guided by certain laws, but their policies are their policies, their rules are their rules. That's like the Ministry of Education trying to tell Stark and Queens College that their uniform must be pink and one must be yellow, right? Next thing people need to understand.
Can I just answer? Hold on. I need to answer your points because you're going to go on with a litany of things, so I need to put a pin in everything you're saying. So step one, sir.
Tin and business license.
Step one, you said you cannot, the group, the Valley Boys, has been registered as the Valley Boys. Let's just put that out there. Let's just say that, right? They was not registered as Brian Adderley Valley Boys. They were registered as the Valley Boys. What we are saying is that we have the documentation for the Valley Boys. Formally. In effect, we are the ones who they are saying is in the A. So we're not getting into all the semantics of whether you gone on that line or going down that line. Hold on, I allowed you to speak, so I allowed you to speak, so I'm going to answer your question. That's step one. Because obviously you called to make a point, so I'm going to answer your question.
Go ahead, no problem.
Point number two. We are also in a possession, because there's only 110 for the Valley Boys.
And business license.
And we also have a business license for the Valley Boys.
I have all in my possession. Everything in my possession.
So what I'm saying is, and it happens a lot, people like to litigate and run on without the facts. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what the responsibility is of a JCNP is to properly arbitrate the facts before it gets into the public domain. He made a point that the Ministry of Education cannot tell QC or whatnot what to do. They absolutely can. You in the Bahamas, if you don't have a certain amount of days you in school, the Ministry of Education has a right to pull your license. That could happen. If the government of the Bahamas does not fund Junkanoo, what is the JCNP going to manage?
Are you going to listen to
what I'm
stop
saying, right? Making those type of statements which just makes no sense.
Let me hear what he said. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, listen. You registered, or you guys registered the name the Valley Boys, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
And you have that name, right? Names are not, you use tins. You said you have the tin. If you had the Valley Boys tin, then you should have been able to be registered. And
we are registered.
Listen, can you listen?
The Valley Boys are registered.
Can you listen?
You aren't listening to what you're saying.
All right, listen.
Don't row on the show. Let's go.
The way that the department works, that deals with the tins, which is, I think, the revenue, inland revenue, the way that they work is that you have to have one, and that is controlled by someone because they have to log in, create whatever. In order for you to be registered with the JCNP, you needed to produce that tin along with certain documents, right? You cannot have multiple tins. So there ain't going to be two Valley tins in the system.
I don't think you understand what's happening here.
So what I'm saying is,
I appreciate you telling me.
There is one Valley tin.
Hold on.
There's one Valley tin.
Let me help him.
There's one Valley Boys registered, and we are that Valley Boys. That's all I'm saying.
Let me help him. Let me help him for 2 seconds. Let me help him because I went through the same thing. I did the exact same thing. I can pull up this information right now and say exactly what's what. Okay? In my possession, I could read to you what the TIN number is for the Valley Boys. I could get in their business, right? I could read to you the TIN number for those things, and I could also read to you that they, in my possession right now, I have a business license for the world famous Valley Boys Junkanoo Group, and they also have a TIN. Now, the discussion that I wanted to start this off with is the infraction doesn't exist within the organization. The organization has, with a conglomerate of persons, gone and presented themselves formally to the Registrar General and registered the organization as the Valley Boys. I have that in front of me right now. Okay? The Valley Boys is registered. After the second group has identified that name, the Valley Boys, is registered, the Registrar General gave them the permission and registered them. They got a tin also that says the world famous Valley Boys, an infraction. That should not happen. It should not happen. If you're looking on this paper, to your point, you are not incorrect what you're saying, but I don't think that you understand that the issue is that the Registrar General have registered both the Valley Boys and the world famous Valley Boys, and it shouldn't happen.
Just for clarity, it's about to be gazetted, which is next Friday. They will no longer be able to use the world famous Valley Boys, and they'll have to assign a new name. Now, I don't know what they're going to call themselves then, but it can't be the Valley Boys because that's who we are.
Right. And so I also have a certificate of registry for all these particular things. This should not happen. Let me go to the next telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead. Call on the line. Go ahead. Next call. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, Arwen.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Anton?
Good afternoon. How you doing?
All is well, man. What's happening with you?
Right up, boy. I listened to this heated conversation. Mr. Jones, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Now, let me just start by saying I'm a supporter of the Valley Boys. I've been a supporter of the Valley Boys for at least 40, 41 years of my, what I consider to be young life.
Good man.
Right? From back in the days when Picky was by no means, and no doubt, the best drummer in the Valley Boys, perhaps in Junction. Before he made his move to Grand Bahama, and Brando and the rest of them, Big Mac, the rest of them, right? So that's the generation of Junction and the Valley Boys that I came up with. And for me, as a supporter of the Valley Boys, this whole public display and mess that's going on in the Valley Boys, I find it to be completely unacceptable because it's spilling out into the public domain in the worst way, right? And the Valley Boys is seen as the professional group, right? And as professionals, we ought to be able to conduct ourselves in a much more mature and a much more classier manner, in my view, right? But beyond that, let me ask you just one or two questions for my own edification. What is the legitimate, or what process was used to legitimize the management group as the management group responsible for every aspect of the that was put in place to legitimize that management group?
You mean prior to now, or when you mean when we were with Brian and all them?
Right.
Okay.
First of all, what is it that determined?
Got it. I can explain to you right now. First of all, I commend you for your point and observation, because I like you know that this all could have been settled very professionally and privately. But I can assure you that several assertions and overtures were made to Brian Adderley. Cisco Trevor told me that he personally went to Cisco's bar. This is what he told me on Madera Street, and brought him a letter saying, "Man, we have some concerns." Cisco took the letter and tore it up in front of him, so we don't have to meet with you. We're not answering no questions.
See, that's where I have the biggest concern.
No, I understand that. So people saying, "Why y'all doing this?" If we didn't do something, brother, we had no choice.
That's what I'm getting down to right now. That is why I asked you the question specifically to help myself.
Right. So that's other. We are business people. Trevor's a business person. We got things we could be doing, but we realized where our group was going. So let me answer your question. The management team is pretty much a group who was assigned and selected by the then leader Gus Cooper.
That's where I think the problem is.
Yeah, again. Now, Gus's personality and intentions, I got to tell you, were pure.
Right.
He was a no-nonsense guy.
Absolutely.
And if he like you, y'all working head to head. But if you play around, you out. That's how he was. So he had picked certain people. You get together. That's why people always used to wonder, like the Valley Boys is called Iron Curtain. You never know what's going on because he had a small circle. And anybody you know Junction, you can't have everyone in the conversation because people don't know how to. Gus passed, so pretty much a similar structure remained. However, but now you're dealing with someone with different intentions.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Now you got to deal with someone who has financial issues and got to do this, and they got bills to pay, and they
Allegedly.
got the job. Allegedly. Not I shouldn't use the term financial issues.
Let's be decent.
But I mean,
I wouldn't want to put that.
I apologize for that. I didn't mean to say it like that.
No.
I meant to say everyone got financial obligations, got real jobs, everyone got real bills.
Yes.
So what winds up happening is people start to question this and question that, and no one will have to answer.
Right.
So then they just close the door.
If I could add, Mr. Jones, to what you just expressed just now, to my mind, as someone who is thinking from a legal perspective, from a moral perspective, from an accountability and transparency perspective, I believe that the process for Junkanoo as a whole needs to be addressed from a governmental perspective as well as from a JCNP perspective, to put regulations in Junkanoo to ensure that this kind of situation never occurs in the history of Junkanoo. What I mean by that specifically is this: we need to have a legitimate means by which a management or leadership team is identified and respected, one that can withstand the test of the judicial system in our country.
Listen to me. I understand your point. And they could simplify all of this. If it were me and I was the government, I wasn't giving out no seed money. I was giving out seed supplies.
And that's where I want to end.
I'll give you the rods. I'll give you the crepe paper. I'll give you the contact.
Anton, my line's lit right up.
If I could just end with that 1 point hour before I go, please.
Let Anton answer and then we can go to break. Go ahead.
All I want to say is this. I believe that, yes, I understand the Minister of Justice, and I see, like Gus Cooper, God rest his soul, his intentions are pure, right? But at the same time, that also opens the door to a whole lot of controversy that could be tied to situations in the past that didn't enjoy this benefit, and certainly to situations in the future that may unfold. And so I believe that it's important moving forward for the JCNP and every other leading organization in the country that has a national responsibility to be operating independently in terms of with the finances and everything. It's the same problem existed, Howard, if you want to take it from a political perspective, under the former speaker who stated that they are not independent because they got to run to the government to get the money. If this Davis-led government could put the provisions in place to ensure the independence of the JCNP and all other leading organizations, I believe that would be the start of good things.
Yeah, but the government is in a position right now having a conversation about the fact that there's only one government in the Bahamas. I said the government is in the position right now fighting this concept and idea of a quasi-government in Grand Bahama. So if they're fighting this in Grand Bahama with the Grand Bahama Port Authority, it says to me that they're not even keen to look at the concept of being able to break up their autonomy.
Well, Howard, it has to happen. It has to happen, Howard. We must put organizations in a position to truly operate and operate independent of influence by any external body, so that whenever situations come up, legitimate situations come up, the organization can take responsibility in hand, make the decisions, and if necessary, they operating, knowing that they're operating well within the parameters and legal parameters of the judiciary in our country, and if it has to go there, they are well protected. Because right now what we have is a situation, no legitimate means by which a management body has been bestowed with the right to organize, and based on what is being claimed from one side, there is no level of accountability, no level of transparency, and there is no legitimate means within the organization to contest the challenges that the people find themselves faced with, other than going to
they
court
need a constitution.
and operating this kind of public scenario.
I appreciate it, Anton.
God bless.
Thank you, man. I got to go to commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Going to be right back. I got some things I'm going to read, and I'm going to get to your telephone calls right after this.
The Foundation.
The Foundation with Howard Grant. We'll be back right after this.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, presents the best of the best. Raking Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcons, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack locations. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819. Survive Alive 242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
I'm Leonard Sands.
And I'm Debbie Deal.
And you know us from the Contractors Association. We're excited to talk about our new show coming to Guardian Radio called Nailed It.
We are going to be on Thursday nights between 6:30 and 7:30.
So we're very happy to invite everyone to listen into the shows as we talk about construction, design-related things. Also,
if you are a subcontractor, if you're planning on building a home or renovating, you need to be a part of this show. And tune in.
Nailed It. Premiering Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
When you jump in your Japanese import and you turn the radio on, all you hear is... For the month of September, the Hit Spot will install a band extender in your Japanese import for the discounted rate of only $79.99, VAT included. Get your band expander installed today at the Hit Spot and listen to
Star 106.5.
Plus, get fresh news on Smart Talk on
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, Smart Talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation.
Lines are lit up, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. We're here sitting with none other than Davon Jones, being able to talk to us about what's happening within the Valley Boys. And there's sort of an infraction that exists. And I want to read some. 3 years ago, the Immortals Junkanoo Group was in the same position as the Way Forward Valley Boys. I'm sure it means the world famous Valley Boys. They did not register the group in time to catch the parades. The JCNP stance was firm on this issue. They were only allowed to participate in the fun section despite going on talk shows and asking for the assistance of the government to intervene. No help came. No seed money came. The Immortals was told they have to exhibit, which they did. And after the successful competitions, were supposed to get $7,500, which was supposed to be held in escrow, which never came. Fast forward. One can only assume that if the Immortals had a brother that was... Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't read the rest of this. I can't read the rest of this. You're going to do too much. They're getting too deep into things. I don't want to read that.
And that's the thing. And what's so sad about this is it calls into question everything. And Bahamians, we always go that route, right? So it almost like if you know someone, that means you're supposed to not have a passion about anything. The bottom line is it's well documented that this movement is the Valley Boys. Everyone could see that. You saw us on the different parades, etc. You saw the various petitions that we have out there. This is the Valley Boys. Okay, we're not a new group. We're not a new entity. Everybody in this group been around for years and years and years. So that's a very different scenario.
Now, I want to be able to take a telephone call before we get out of here. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Howard, good evening.
Hey, baby, what's up?
Good evening to your guest.
Good evening.
Welcome back. Howard, this is so crazy between Wally Boy 1 and Wally Boy 2. Race for Jesus. My heart dropped when he said they wanted to put them to the F group.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You can't do that,
You
Howard.
can't do that.
No.
I don't care who brothers what. You can't put the Wally Boy down there.
This could be done.
We only come to the parade to see these people.
You know,
Talk to me.
Yeah,
You know, so I just have a suggestion, right?
Let me hear it.
On behalf of the fans and the Bahamian people, because when you think about Jonkin, who you think about Howard?
I sing by the valley.
Saxon and Wally, man.
I sing by the valley. I tell you, you all know I as a valley.
Okay, you think by the
Praise
Wally,
God.
right? I think by the Wally and the Saxon, okay? Even though the Wally sometimes come out on top. I feel like for the sake of the persons like myself, my God, fix it, man. Come out, go and fighting together, and then fix it after.
I'll share this with you.
Get together, man.
I'll share this with you. I'll share this with you.
Huh?
I'll share this with you. Up until we had multiple meetings, one with Bahama, which was the title sponsor, and one with the minister.
One more point now. Don't cut me.
No, let me just explain to you what happened, like how you say work together. And we had a board, and obviously it's clear that our side, with Mr. Davis leading us, has the majority of the Valley Boys. And he said, look, I don't have an objection to 2 members from your board joining our board. Now let's go to Bay. And in March of 2025, we'll hold an election. And anybody who wants to run, anybody, it could be Trevor Davis, it could be Brian Adley, it could be Cisco Cooper, anybody can run for the leadership of the group and the best man win. Now, if you are fair and honest, why would you have an objection to that?
Oh, my God.
Their side, they declined it.
Oh, wow.
So, what does that tell you? That sounds like someone who
tell you, democracy.
No, it's absolutely not.
Democracy over here. You do as you're told.
Right.
So
that's the way.
What I feel now, that, and Anton, somebody, if Anton didn't say it, someone said it. The government should have never give no seed money, even though they half it, right? Half and half.
I think we skipping 3 steps. The Registrar General should have never registered another name.
Never.
Say the Valley Boys.
You know, I differ on that because I actually thought that was a good move by the minister. Let me tell you why. He did it for the betterment of the culture. He was satisfied that both of these groups could actually put a good show on.
Okay, but my thing's still right, but both of them are not going to be in the 8 category.
They will. What I'm saying is, I know the Valley Boys is registered, so I know we in.
Okay, but
Right?
that ain't possible, right?
Right. Yeah, but I mean,
What you should have done is the same thing you say, send these group out to an election. And it would have been time
Correct.
prior before.
Correct.
Time. Send you all to
Y'all
the
go
election,
settle that,
whoever win.
and then come back to me.
Yeah, but it takes 2. I was hopeful that.
Hold on until then.
I was hopeful that would have been the outcome, but it's gotten so far.
I thank you for calling, baby.
Because I listened to you earlier, and everything you say about culture and trying to make taxes and trying to get an income from this culture we have sounds beautiful. I hope it.
Yeah, but the only way we can make people believe it if we could get our act together and stop getting into this pettiness. We got to think big.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you for your telephone call. Let me go to the next call. Caller on the line. Go ahead.
Hi, Howard.
Hey, my dear. What's up?
Right here. And good day to your guest.
Good day.
I've been listening, and I am very disappointed. I'm hurt, even. Because even though you guys are saying that the thingy was not paid up, the registration fee and all them other stuff was not paid up, the shack was not paid up, and you guys went ahead and do that, right? And you're saying, and some of the things that you're saying, you're talking about feelings and pettiness and stuff. But in my view, in my personal view, I feel like that's exactly what you guys are doing. You're being spiteful. And not to say that you are, I'm saying that's how I feel. Because if they didn't want to hold an election and they were taking you down a road that you did not want to do what Roots do. Do what family do. Do what the others do. Get out. Do your own thing. Let them crack that ship.
No,
I
hear you. I hear you absolutely. But I'm going to tell you this: just like how you have your opinion, we have our opinion. And what we're saying is, if 80% of the group who bill it, if you got 80%, you put up 80% of the blocks to this house. You can walk out the house and start building a new house?
Well, that's what divorces cost.
You understand?
That's what divorces cost.
What you
do? What your wife live in the next room?
But what everything that we would have
You
said.
don't always walk away with half and half. You don't always get to share. So somebody should sit back and say, you know what? be the bigger man and say, this is not just causing a split for the valley. It's causing a split and it's causing confusion in the country. You know what? Let's be the bigger one. And you know what?
But ain't no bigger man here.
Our own name.
Yeah,
I don't like the fact that...
Ain't no bigger man here.
Why you split. But I don't like the fact that you feel like you kind of...
Miss, you have a very valid point, but you must understand most of this confusion was done by the media and other people out there on social media. You know, we knew what we were doing. I mean, we were acting to protect the group. What I just pointed out is, if this group of Valley Boys did not reserve the name, anybody could go and reserve the name. Who did not want good for the Valley Boys?
But they didn't. Over 15 years, they didn't.
This is what I'm saying. So if you have negligent leadership, and you say, look, let's regularize this, what's wrong with that?
Now, I can say this. I won't say this. I got a couple of minutes before I got to take a next break, but I can say this. And I want you to hear me. All right? My girl just called. I just want to be able to explain this. For the years of toil and commitment that we've made in developing this group, the Valley Boys, if I was a part of the group, if I was in this particular capacity, the business person that I am, the insight that I have for the future, for the years that we've developed and etched out this group and made it a world-class organization, that we could pull people from anywhere around the country to be able to participate in this group. That the sentiment of leadership says that if one go, 5 can come. That only because of years of development of the organization. Now let's get something. There is no way that if the majority of the group seeks to go with me, that I'm going to go under the banner of a new name to kind of prove the name of the group that we just chose. That's not going to happen. If there was an inroad to be able to ensure that I could relegate the Valley Boys name under the banner that we have, and I have 80% of people hypothetically behind me, I can do what I have to do. I cannot fight these guys for doing what they've done. Only thing that we could look at here is if they did not register the Progressive Liberal Party name, if they did not register the Free National Movement's name, and any other organization decided to take that, they also take the legacy associated with that. You have the responsibility in leadership capacity, chairman, deputy chair, treasurer, trustee, all these people to ensure that your books are transparent. That's what we're dealing with. Now, the only thing, and I started off like this, the only thing that's happening here is that your relationships and the love for Junkanoo is keeping you relevant. But from a legal standpoint, the world-famous Valley Boys, if the Valley Boys are registered first, the world-famous Valley Boys don't have a leg to stand on. That's all I'm getting from this. All I getting from this is we fighting and we punching the wind and we doing all these things, but we're getting nowhere with this. And if cooler heads, calmer heads cannot prevail, then we must let the law take its place. Quick break, be right back after this.
Foundation. The foundation.
The Foundation. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window letters, no job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
I'm Leonard Sands.
And I'm Debbie Deal.
And you know us from the Contractors Association. We're excited to talk about our new show coming to Guardian Radio called Nailed It.
We are going to be on Thursday nights between 6:30 and 7:30.
So we're very happy to invite everyone to listen into our shows as we talk about construction, design-related things also.
If you are a subcontractor, if you're planning on building a home or renovating, you need to be a part of this show. And tune in.
Nailed It, premiering Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Everything is bigger and better at Burger King Nassau. When you have a big appetite, BK has a royal deal for you. Get a flame grilled double Big King Jr. or an original chicken sandwich plus 4 chicken nuggets, small fries, a drink, and a fresh baked cookie for only $9.95, including that. The royal deal was built for a big appetite, and at $9.95, including that, it's a steal of a deal. Go big and enjoy the BK flavors you love with the $9.95 royal deal at Burger King Nassau.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
All right, guys, we got the lines are lit up, the telephone texts are lit up, everything is lit right up. We're here sitting at none other than Davon Jones talking to us as a part of the steering committee for the Valley Boys. Now, the difference and the infraction that exists here is that there's the Valley Boys, the world famous Valley Boys. There's complexity to these conversations. And I think all of us are confused trying to figure out, well, why this and why that, why the next thing. And we are not, and for me, we got to put blame where it's supposed to be placed. We would never have none of this problem. Okay, so I can give you an example. I wanted to do a morning show, right? I wanted to call the show something Bahamas. I can't remember what it's. I think, the Good Morning Show, the Bahamas Good Morning Show, something like that, right? And I registered. So you go online to the Registrar General. You can be able to go online and be able to see that, right? When I put Bahamas in the name, because I put the word Bahamas in the name of my registry, they denied me. Now, when you apply for the registry for your business name, they say, okay, tell me what you want your business name. That's the main one. They say, okay, now give me 3 other names that you would like to have in the event that this one is not available. That's what you do. Okay? I did that. I put Good Morning Bahamas Show with Howard Grant, right? This is what I wanted to do, right? I send the name in. They rejected it. They rejected the name. They say, Howard, you can't have that name. Anything with Bahamas in it, you can't have that. Because 2 other ones had Bahamas and one that didn't have. My point to you, the issue that has arisen here, and the division, not necessarily the division that exists in there, the formal division, and the issue that we're having here is that the Registrar General should have never allowed another organization to have the Valley Boys in it. That can lead to confusion, that can lead to tribulation, that can lead to problems, and that can lead it to a point right now where we are. And if ain't nobody can identify that, then that's where the problem is. However, the allegiance that the JCNP has to Brian and the tradition and the culture of the group that existed years ago, the relationships that exist, that's what you're fighting. Because formality says you in. But if the JCNP takes on a position that, hey, listen, we don't know you to be at the head, no matter what this paper says, you're fighting some other things. This is where legal stuff got to get involved.
And you know, just to answer that, after all of the demonstration of questions and documentation, etc., the Valley Boys, who we are, we have only been permitted to come and attend one JCNP meeting. All the others, we've been declined entry because Brian said to them that they aren't the registered group. Well, who is? Because what documentation did he have to say that he represents the Valley Boys other than a business license?
Is there any formal documentation to indicate that he's the chairman of the organization?
Not to my knowledge.
There's no formality.
You could ask them, present it. I've never seen it.
What the sick? How y'all is do business?
We have, however,
I don't understand
we
how y'all
have
do business.
incorporated documents for the Valley Boys and Trevor Davis and whoever the stereotype is. We
How
have that.
y'all is who in the hell is give you all the money?
What I'm saying is, this is an example of what was wrong with where we were, and we just try to correct it. That's all this is. And again, we never said that Brian and everyone cannot be around the table. We're just saying, guys, we have.
Sparky, real quick, go ahead, Sparky, and let you talk.
Man, you use it all the time. Howard, let's go right from the break, okay? The real problem, as I see it, I can tell you, as I see it, from 1958, it started off with Gus Cooper and his friends. A bunch of us young people got involved. We were the young fellas in the group, up there day and night, cutting paper, building costumes, and this and that and that. There was a certain group that always managed the Valley Boys. This management group became a bunch of personal friends. Doctors, lawyers, accountants, this and that and that. They were the management of the Valley Boys. It came to a point where the group said, hey, we want maybe a different management. There was an election at St. George's School Hall one night, and they decided we will elect Gus as manager, as leader for life. As long as he's alive, he will be the leader. But we want chairmen to be elected every so often. So Ed came in to Michael Foster, and Gus was leader. But the management group still managed the group. Then it came in after Foster was elected out, and Brian came in. The management team, same management team, still managed the money to the group. Now remember, most of these management members had friends in high places, businesses, hotels, and so forth. For example, Sandy Sands is a Valley boy. He's a big thing in Bahama. So if they need a big-time sponsor, they go to Sandy Sands, he gives the money to the management group. Other people, all them people, thousands of people in them shops night after night, sometimes don't have no paper, don't have no feathers. They take their own money to go buy these things, just to go down there to compete against the other group and try to beat the Saxons. They spend $1,000 out of their own pocket to look pretty, win best costume, this and that. At the end of the day, people in the group, only thing they might get is collect and some Kentucky chicken. They have no control. They don't know how the money was spent. Now came Trevor say, hold on, let us have the election so we will know how this money is spent. The management team and so forth, we will have open books and we'll have film of and everything. The management group decided, you ain't want no election, right? They've been asking Brian for election for the longest. So now the so-called split come, and the majority, I can tell you, the majority of the people who do all the hard work in the Valley Boys, they go in with Trevor.
All right. You talk good.
With Trevor because they're tired of this. Hey, man, you're the boss. You're the boss. This is the boss. Perry, Campbell, Clare, Rose, Brian, and Cisco, and Johnny Moon. It's in their management group that don't want to go on the side. That's what it looked like to me. I could be wrong. But that doesn't look like me. Have an election. Let the group decide who they want to lead them, and go see to me all my years. I never get a dime from Joe Canoe. I go down there to compete and have fun. Go home and drink a beer and wait for the doggone results.
Again, Sparky. Thank you, man, Sparky.
I got a case in Macau and I live on Frederick Street.
Thank you, Sparky. I appreciate your telephone call, guys. I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you for being able to be here with us, my brother Davon. Talk to me about it now. What do you want to be able to resolve? Give me that in 12 seconds. Tell me what you want to be able to see come at the end of this thing. Well, what would you like to see?
The focus at this point is to get the group ready to get to Bay Street, preserve the culture. I really believe that this whole matter will take care of itself. We're going to be steadfast. We are the Valley Boys. So in my mind, we're already registered. We're preparing for Bay Street. So they'll have to sort all the rest of that out themselves.
All right. Well, I like this conversation, guys. It was an impassioned conversation. Everybody wanted to be able to participate in that. I'm grateful for you guys. Tomorrow, I don't know if we're going to have a little part 2 of that, but we're going to talk about this and maybe see another spin like Anton did, trying to put politics in the thing. Let's just be decent. Guys, that's the show today. Thank you so very kindly. 96.9 FM Radio, The Foundation with Howard Grant. We're going to see you tomorrow. Godspeed.
The Foundation.